Because of its mysterious past, a difficult-to-reach island off the coast of New York City is said to be haunted. Skyscrapers, bustling streets, and city lights are the first things that come to mind when we hear the name New York City, an incredible image of a metropolis with a distinct appeal. Even with its widespread appeal, New York City conceals certain things from both locals and visitors. Beneath the surface of Manhattan is a world far darker than Times Square. There's a phantom island in the East River, the waterway that was once booming with maritime trade as the city's major sea line and port. The 16-mile-long river is not as sought after as it once was. All that's left are the specters of a once active river. Specifically, the location is at the northern inlet. An island has been left uninhabited for almost 50 years. Over the years, the buildings that once supported thousands of people have been gradually destroyed by nature. North Brother Island is an island that was originally home to a huge number of people each year, but has been abandoned for more than 50 years. The island was utilized by Riverside Hospital in 1885 to treat and confine smallpox patients. As long as the patients remained contagious, they had to stay at the hospital, and there was only one route off of the island. They would live there for the remainder of their lives and maybe be buried there if the treatment failed. North Brother Island is empty these days. Spread across more than 20 acres, the brick constructions are devoured by vines that climb the walls of the buildings. Both vines and trespassers who creep onto the island break windows. The Parks Department must get express authorization before you may go to the island. Generally speaking, they only provide permission to researchers, and even then, getting there is a project in and of itself. It presents a dilemma because the island no longer has docks or ports. To set foot on its shores, you would have to use a tiny speedboat or rowboat and almost beach yourself. However, over the years, daring explorers have continued to make visits despite this. There isn't much vandalism because the island is inaccessible and lonely. But some people have taken advantage of the creepy reputation of the location by leaving their marks after dark. There's a foreboding message on the island that says, "Help me, I'm being held here against my will." It's difficult to tell if this is merely an act of vandalism or a request for assistance from when the island was populated. The island is riddled with evil tales, and they grow more numerous with every tale and every unauthorized visit. They are all going to keep you up at night. Consider this terrible incident. The sidewheel passenger ship PS General Slocum was holding a boat trip for St. Mark's Evangelical Lutheran Church on June 15, 1904. As they traveled from New York City to the North Shore of Long Island, what was meant to be an enjoyable and carefree day became a nightmare. On board, a fire started and swiftly spread throughout the vessel. Captain William Henry Van Schaik chose to go in the direction of North Brother Island rather than return to port. As the fire devoured the boat, several of the passengers were unable to swim to safety. Either I drowned or I burned. Out of the 1,358 people on board, just 321 made it out alive. Hundreds of dead washed ashore on North Brother Island's coastlines. In the wake, that's not where it ends. North Brother Island quarantine quarters were extended to other illnesses as well, as it was controlling smallpox epidemics so well. Mary Mallon, often referred to as Typhoid Mary, worked as a cook in New York City and was an asymptomatic carrier of the illness, which means that although it was present inside of her, it never really affected her. Consuming tainted food or water might result in typhoid illness, which Mary tended to get throughout her culinary gigs. A researcher started looking at it after growing suspicious over a number of years. She was said to have infected more than 50 individuals, 3 of whom passed away. She spent 3 years living in seclusion on North Brother Island after being forcibly removed from society. After then, she was freed with one small requirement. She couldn't cook, but she paid no attention. She kept her job as a chef and changed her identity. There were outbreaks, but she just moved on to the next project. She managed to continue doing so for 5 years, at which point she was apprehended and had to go back to the island. Mary lived on that island for the final 23 years of her life. Where the illness was, she would not allow the doctors to perform the practiced gallbladderectomy. Mary was certain that she did not have the illness. She suffered a stroke in 1932 that rendered her completely paralyzed. She was unable to move, so she lay in bed for the next 6 years until pneumonia was identified. Mary battled, but she was defeated, and she died in 1938. Following the hospital's closure, the premises were used as a notorious rehab facility that engaged in cruel practices. Addicts on drugs were kept in quarters furnished just with a garbage pail and a cot. Some were able to survive, while others were not. The rehabilitation facility eventually closed its doors as well, and the island was permanently deserted in 1963. All the structures and other artifacts left behind have now been reclaimed by nature, but everything was left in its original location. In the course of their urban investigations, tourists reported witnessing unusual noises, sensing a presence, and even malfunctioning devices. As they visited the island, a few other guests reported feeling eerie emotions. As of right now, no clear picture exists regarding the enigmatic and uninhabited North Brother Island. But one thing is for sure, the island's notoriety may prevent its exploitation.